This anxiety is crushing me. Yikes, yikes.
Have you ever heard an ad? Well, this is an ad for ads. Hi, I'm Addie.
Here at squattyeddie.com.
We'll put all of your pooing needs to use. Have you ever said a sentence that doesn't quite make sense? Hi, I'm Abby, serving you a fake ad. Have you ever started a joke and not known where you're gonna finish it? Hi, I'm Abby, at your second ad.
What does Thor call it when he's got
What?
when he's got ruptured blood vessels on his butt? Hammeroids. That joke could also work with other hammer-based heroes.
Carpenters.
Too unspecific.
Jesus.
You smiled so much when I started it. What did you think I was gonna do?
Let's pick ourselves up together by the string of our hands.
Okay.
Whatever they say. Let's do this. Hello!
Hey.
Here at Polly Shoes, you never know what shoes you'll get.
When I go get shoes, sometimes I'm like, what kind of shoes do I want?
Well,
Big, small, round, tall. I don't know.
I don't know either. Will I get one shoe of one kind and another shoe of a different kind?
My favorite part about Polly's is the lotto aspect to it. I just go, take a number, they give me shoes.
It's a shuffle.
It's a shoe shuffle.
You'll never know what you're gonna get.
All I gotta pay is $99.99 a month, and I get one pair of shoes every 3 weeks.
And if you don't get a pair of shoes, we'll stab you right in the eyes.
Whoa,
Or
Polly.
meatball sup. Through every New Yorker stereotype I can fathom. At Polly's.
With lots of meat.
You want shoes?
Meat.
Maybe go somewhere else.
Baby.
This just in. You should listen to this podcast coming right up. I'm the news. And I'm very official.
Straight to that ABC News.
Yeah. Hello.
Hey,
Hello.
welcome. It's us here at Anxiety.
Second time going. Wow. Number 2, here we are. That's not a phrase at all.
Number 2, here we are. It's what I say every time before I poop. Why, these sound so quickly.
Sorry?
As I was saying it, I watched your face just fall.
It's just the word poop. I hate that word. Hi.
Hey.
Welcome to
Anxiety.
Improvised. Right on the spot. Right off the cuff.
How did we start it last time? I don't think we did start it
didn't.
last time.
I
I think we
caught
just
you- I caught-
yelled it for an hour.
You told jokes. You were on the upper foot comedy-wise the whole time. I found a moment where it could strike you down vulnerably, and then I just took it and ran with it.
What? Alright. This week's about decisions.
Wait. We can do more preamble.
What?
We can do more
We can do more preamble. It didn't seem like it was going anywhere.
Here, look, I'll don't worry, I got this. Do you ever know when you're gonna go into the bathroom and you don't know what to do? And it's like, oh my god, yeah.
It's the perfect gag for an audio podcast.
It's all sound.
Yeah, I know. It's the perfect gag for an audio
I
podcast. I love the breeders. I love the breeders. You're smiling so much.
Have you ever listened to sports and you're like, yeah, I want more? Hey, go fuck yourself. Get a new hobby. Sports equals jorts. Jorts are jeans and shorts. Lame.
Paid for by the Citizens Against Sports.
And we're back.
So decisions.
Yeah.
That's this
decisions.
week.
Yeah. Guess we've got to decide who has to launch this.
I'll go first. Because one of the obvious things that I find anxious about making decisions is just the act of making a decision at all. It doesn't matter if it's a good decision or a bad decision. The actual meat of the decision doesn't matter at all. If somebody's like, excuse me, would you? No. Or like if time is passing, that requires making a decision. If I wake up, well, already that's a decision. And then if I wake up, like this morning, it was like 7, and then I was like, what do I do? And I'm like, I hate this. Makes me so uncomfortable, because what if I get it wrong?
With decisions, they of course make me anxious, but I like making decisions sometimes because it's always like a risk factor. It's like if and this sounds painfully obvious, but if you do it well, if you make the right decision, people are like, great call. But if you make the wrong decision, people are like, you're a fucking idiot. And that decisions come hand in hand with having to take responsibility for doing something. Yikes.
It's funny. I totally get you while I'm editing. While I'm editing and I'm like talking to the director, I'm like, I think you should do this thing, cut out this scene, or add or put it in this order or whatever. I'm like making a decision about what should be done, because they're like, I don't know what to do. And then when it works, it's like, fuck yeah. And when it doesn't work, I'm like, oh, let's just try something else. And I can sort of like deflect any bad feelings. But something about like non-work, even just general work decisions. Like when I'm in the thick of something creative, decisions are awesome.
Yeah.
But anything outside of that, it's just yeah. I don't want to get too off into a creative talk tangent. Ah, fuck it. Well, like one thing
you're totally allowed to.
Yeah, so, like with editing, I find it easy. But then sometimes if I'm trying to write something, one of the biggest problems is I'm like, all right, so the character could probably do this or this, and I'm like, but what if I pick the wrong decision? It doesn't matter because it's not written yet, and after it's written, it can be rewritten.
That's something shocking about making decisions sometimes, is that like when I'm like writing a story or I'm writing a script, I'm like, oh, what do the characters do next? Oh no, that's the part of the creative process that I hate, is that I have to make the call. I'm not reading a book where someone's going to guide me along the path, because they made a series of decisions to tell me the story. And sometimes I hate them, and then sometimes I love the decisions. It's like when you watch a show and they kill off your favorite character and you're like, what a stupid decision, I hate it. But at least someone else has made that decision and they're guiding you along a path. Whereas when you're the person that is writing or creating something and it's suddenly up to you to make that call, nightmare. Because decisions always have an effect and they have a reaction. I hate the reaction. I don't want a reaction. I want to do things and no one will ever see me do them. It's like I just want to operate in the dark. I want to operate in a dark, silent, dead room.
So whenever I meet people who clearly don't understand the repercussions of their actions, they just do things and it's upsetting. I feel two simultaneous feelings. One is anger, because I'm like, you should... Because, I mean, if they're 5, who cares? But if they're like 20, I'm like, you should, by this point, understand that your actions affect other people and the world around you. But then the other feeling is jealousy, because I'm like, man, wouldn't it be great to be free and just make decisions? You just do things. That sounds crazy. I mean, it sounds terrible. I feel like I would instantly morph into a bad person, but it also sounds like, wow, you could just go and do a thing and it's fine.
I'm the kind of person that will put off a decision until I no longer have to make a decision, because someone has to take the reins. And that's a terrible thing to do. But I feel like often I'm just like, if I just don't make a call on whether something will happen, something will eventuate. Time will pass and something will result, and I won't have had to take a particular stance.
Well, that's part of what I mean when I say, like, making a decision makes me anxious, because, like, not making a decision is also a decision. So when I'm trying to decide, do I want to do this thing or not? Like, if I just wait, I know in the back of my head that that means I'm deciding to not do it and I'm putting off doing it.
Yeah.
And that also makes me anxious. That's why it's like everything feels like it has a time limit, because, like, if you don't make a decision, then you've made the decision to not make a decision.
Yeah. With this podcast, and I don't mean to reference episode number 1 where we talk about making a podcast. When I was making this podcast is fucking full of decisions.
Yeah.
I had to decide on cover art, and I had to decide on a song and on a theme that I'm turning against because I hear my own voice in it, and I'm like, ooh. No. And I am, and we had to make a decision tonight about what subject to do, which is why decisions are so apt.
Yeah.
Is because like we're feeling around in this new project of ours, and decisions was something we had talked about beforehand, but tonight we had to actually make the decision to talk about decisions. Thoroughly meta and thoroughly terrifying. Oh my god. Thoroughly meta.
Fying.
Millie.
I thought you were gonna get like it's metafying, which is, but that
No,
sounds
I
like
was
gratifying.
I was thoroughly meta Millie.
Ah, well, yeah, thoroughly meta Millie is great.
Thank you.
It's me, thoroughly meta Millie, and it's Julia Roberts, and she's.
Julia Roberts.
No, fuck! I just get the names confused.
Julie Andrews.
Yes.
And Mary Tyler Moore.
Yes.
I'm Dorothy. I just moved in. I'm an orphan. And then Beatrice Lilly is like, oh, sad to be an orphan. And then she squirts poison from her ring. I wish I was making this up. I'm just reciting the plot.
That movie is nuts. Sometimes I feel like we forget how crazy a lot of movies are.
There's this bit where Beatrice Lilly, i.e. evil Mrs. Myers, leans over and squirts poisonous ink into an ink pot through a brooch. Or a brooch. Brooch.
Yeah.
Brooch?
Movies get away with just being nuts, and I feel like especially when we're children, we just accept it.
Oh, isn't
like,
that weird?
One thing that I think about all the time is how much I loved Space Jam, and trying to reconcile that as a grown-up with the opening act, with like the premise of that movie is that the Looney Tunes are going to be made slaves for fun, so they kidnap pro basketballers' talent, specifically Michael Jordan, to combat the alien cartoons who have literally stolen the juice of other famous basketballers.
I'm gonna
It's
do
just...
two things right now. I'm gonna say something and we're not gonna elaborate on it because that's a whole other discussion.
Okay.
Which is, to touch on that, you're right. When you're a kid, anything flies, because you and I both enjoyed City Slickers. And two, we should totally have a segment where we summarize a film, but from a different perspective.
Yeah.
And then we have to guess what film it is.
Oh, I love those games.
Yeah. I really want to do that. Because, hey, listeners, heads up. We fucking love movies. That's all we're about. And there's going to be a lot of movie talk in this.
Yeah.
And music talk.
And
in
TV.
Fact, we could even have a segment where we talk about new movies or music that we've enjoyed. Like, they're our own little hooray corner, but like more like a recommendation corner. I love a good recommendation.
We're gonna have like a soundboard for it though, so we're like doing it as like, all right, beep, 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 beep. It's recommendation corner, beep, beep, and then we're like, all right, yeah, now it's time for our recommendation corner.
Stop. I'm taking that soundbite and I'm just gonna use that. I'm not bothering to make anything. That's it. That's the whole bit. I just want it to be noted that I'm actually gonna follow through with that. Take note, that will be in the future. And here's my little theme song for what was the other? Oh yeah, guessing
The
movies.
tip of the day.
Oh yeah. Okay, I can do tip of the day. Ready?
Tip of the day!
Why does it sound like you've got the worst constipation? Like you're shitting as often as you shower.
Tip of the day!
It's like a tropical bird. Like you're going through Rio de Janeiro and then you get too close.
Tip of the day! Tip of the day! Oh, tip of the day!
Also, I would like to go back to my gag where I said you're so constipated because you're shitting as often as you shower, which I thought was funny. And I figured we're in a section we're going to mostly cut out anyway.
Yeah. All right. Let's just say it. Okay. Let's just say it
You
out
don't
loud.
have to say it.
I only shower once a week at this point because I don't take care of myself.
We'll just cut it out.
Tip of the day. We have a tip of the day. Wah, wah. Tip of the day. Yeah, yeah. I'll tell you. Tip of the day. Yeah,
Governor.
yeah. Hoo, 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 hoo. Tip of the day.
Guess movies based on the description.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Wait, no. Wait, I'll do that one. Guess the movie based on the description.
Movie corner. You will find out what it is. Now, a word from our local sponsors.
discovered that our sponsors may not be as local as we thought. Let's go back to decisions. I get really stressed about not just the idea of making the decision, but when it's a decision between two good options, I feel like I'm going to get tricked. Like, if it's say deciding between, we could get a Portos or we could get KFC, right? Or, options that make us sound like better people, like, we could feed the homeless or donate to Vinny's or something. If it's like two things of equal quality, both are fine, choose between these two shirts and I like both of them, it's like, I hate this. All you've made me do is feel like I have to eliminate something I like, and you've also made me go like, how are you tricking me?
I find it really interesting, the language of trick. Because that means that you think the universe is trying to betray you.
Well, because I'm just worried I'm going to pick one and think going like, I'm the good one, and then later it'll be revealed, no, that was a dumb option. You're a bad person. Gotcha. And I'm like, no!
Yeah. Isn't it weird how anxiety is really just like linked to like just general self-hatred?
Yeah.
We're always on the lookout for the universe to fuck us over.
Yeah.
That's part of decision making, is that, you're worried you're going to fuck yourself over.
Yeah.
And then that way you've tricked yourself. You've played yourself.
He says congratulations in that.
Yeah.
Congratulations. You played yourself.
Oh, we love a good meme here.
Yeah.
Here's one. Slaps hood of car. You're a fucking customer of mine. Have a great day.
Slaps roof of car. What a fucking idiot.
Slaps roof of car. Whoops. This is a car I'm gonna sell. Better keep it in mint condition and not slap it next time. I have a great story about making decisions. I just had a revelation, and I need to share this story with you about decisions. For instance, I have a cat called Casserole, and I have a cat called Beatrice. Casserole and Beatrice are both very clingy cats.
Don't.
And they always need to be in the room with us. Just about 10 minutes ago, we heard a little meow at the door, which is closed. We opened the door, and Casserole made the decision to enter the room. We promptly closed the door because we're worried about sound quality. And as she came in here, rifled around, tried to jump on us, knocked something over, and then went right back to the door, she realized she'd made the wrong decision.
But she's now peacefully sort of snoozing nearby.
Yeah, I can hear her snoring.
It doesn't feel that wrong. Maybe it's so wrong it's right.
And in the end, though she doubted the decision, she made one.
So I've got a question about decisions.
Yeah.
Which makes you more anxious? Specifically anxious, not stressed, not worried, anxious. I know that encompasses both of those things, so it's more specific. Making a decision about really big things, or making a decision about trivially small things that shouldn't matter but for some reason do?
Ooh. I feel like the small things would be a more like unexpected and interesting answer, but it's definitely the big things.
Right.
Like if we're comparing like choosing what sandwich to have today and should I move countries, like it's gonna be move countries that will make me more anxious about making a decision. Like the bigger things are things that I've pondered so much that I haven't acted upon yet, whereas the smaller things like making a sandwich, whilst at the time can be very difficult, I always end up doing, and they make me less anxious because they're far. I spend a lot less time thinking about them.
I mean, I have to compare with that, like, not had lunch several times because I couldn't make a decision about what to eat.
But then I think you're very impulsive with bigger decisions.
Yeah.
Like you bought me a car, and like, look, we did that together. But one day you just turned to me and you're like, fuck it, I'll buy you a car. That was a big decision, and you made it instantly. But then I've seen you try and make up your mind about what to eat, and it drives you crazy.
It does. Well, I think because with bigger things, I just can't handle it. So my brain just goes like, just one of them. Whereas with smaller things, it's like the stakes are so low that I can't just default out. Because it's so much easier to go like, what if I do the wrong one? Whereas like with the bigger one, I'm like, I have to make a decision. I'll stick with whatever the decision is.
That's crazy. With big decisions, I just don't make them. I just can't.
Well, I often don't make them. But, there's something about, like, being able to commit to whichever decision I make, even if it's not making a decision, that makes big decisions easier. Like, I can make a decision, and then at the very least I can stand by it.
Yeah.
Whereas with a smaller decision, if I get it wrong, I just feel awful for the rest of the day, maybe the week, maybe even the month. It just makes me so stressed out because I'm like, I really can just make the wrong choice.
Oh, totally.
And then not, I can't justify sticking by it because it's like, I just did the wrong thing.
Driving is definitely a whole different discussion because it's like it's a big source of anxiety for me. But one of the big factors in driving is that you have to make a decision about which route you're taking.
Yeah.
But then little things like what lane you'll jump into, which way will make it faster. Maybe instead of this way, I should take this way to work today. Maybe I'll avoid this section of traffic. It's all like decision makings, but you can't preempt it. A lot of it is risk. And that is, as I said, what decision making is all about, which is like that risk factor involved. So there's often days where I'm beating myself up for the decision I made on how to get to work because I had to do it quickly and I made the wrong one. And the decision part of it is awful. Sometimes I've pulled over just to keep thinking about what decision I'll make before I have to turn a certain way.
Yeah. It is why I don't drive. I've said many times the specific reason I don't drive is because it makes me too anxious.
Yes.
I can't handle it.
Yeah.
And I feel like if I did drive on a day-to-day basis, I would just be too anxious to do anything else.
But there's something I like about the assertiveness of making a decision. I like at my job the other day, like, we were moving furniture around, and then, like, there was literally at one point about 6 of us just standing around. We didn't need 6 people there, but it was, like, 2 guys from the warehouse, and then there was, like, 4 of us, like, working in the showroom, and we were just like, oh, we need to finish this display. We don't know where to move it. And then after about 10 minutes of talking, I just hit that breaking point where I didn't want to have to think about the decision anymore, so I just started doing it. So, this is verbatim what I said. I went, all right, fuck it. We're going to move this there. We're going to move that over there. We're going to shift that, put that against that wall. We're going to move this in. And I started just listing off everything we're going to do. And I like the feeling of assertiveness where you're sick of trying to think of a decision to make and then you just start making them. Here's my tip of the day.
Tip of the day!
Eat pussy, son.
It's a great tip. It makes me feel less anxious while I'm doing it and afterwards. It makes me feel like a good person. It's kind of meditative because you get into a rhythm of it. It's a good anti-anxiety tip.
Every time you need to make a decision, I've heard this tip before, and this is not my tip of the day, but I always thought that was interesting, and I think about it all the time. Someone once said that if you have to make a big decision, just rub it out, because you hold a lot of stress, and as soon as you orgasm, there's no stress left, and then you're just sweet as.
Yeah.
Then you have clarity, peace of mind, you're Buddha, you're enlightened, you're the Renaissance in a person.
Yeah.
But that's not my tip of the day.
No, your tip of the day was eat pussy, son.
I changed it.
Okay.
I'm a serious girl now. Here it is. Tip of the day.
You can't have 3 tips.
I just can't make a decision about what tip to give. We've all learnt a lesson here. That's my tip of the day. Never stop learning.
Oh my god. My tip of the day, I had one and it was really good. Like, you would have heard it and you would have laughed and lived and loved. It would have been awesome. But I forgot. So the one I do want to say is that one thing, especially when it comes to decisions, most of the time you have, even just if it's a few moments, more time than you think to make the decision.
Yes.
So if you're really, really worried, getting anxious and working yourself up doesn't help. It also doesn't help to say that because it's hard to just not work yourself up. But I find it really useful if I can go like, oh, I can take another like 5 minutes, and then you can just use that 5 minutes to not necessarily think about it.
Yeah.
And then at the end of it, you can make a decision. You know?
I was just thinking, like, when I make decisions, I'm the kind of person that leaves every avenue open until the very last minute.
Yeah.
Which is genuinely probably my tip of the day. Which is, if you don't know how to make a decision, try and keep as many avenues as possible open until the very last minute that you have to make a decision. And I don't want to give you a genuine tip, but, like, trust your gut.
Oh, the only addendum to that is you have to be honest for that to work, because I've done that too, especially with work stuff, where I try and do everything at once, even when I know I can't, because I don't want to make a decision about which thing to do. When it comes to then having to tell somebody I can't work on that thing, if I've before made up excuses and it's always been obvious and it's always pissed people off. And if you just honestly go like, hey, I can't do this, and maybe offer to find someone else or just do something to kind of hand it off, then you're more likely to kind of get away with it. It doesn't work if you try and keep every avenue open and then lie to either continue to keep them open.
No, totally. Totally. Definitely don't lie about it, but if you can possibly keep thinking about it, do it. I'm a big believer in think about every option again and again. But that's because I'm an overanalyzer, and maybe you shouldn't take advice from someone that refuses to seek help. But personally, I love to overanalyze because it makes me feel like I assessed the situation thoroughly before I did it, and that way I don't regret it as much.
Yeah.
Speaking of regrets, that's what the next episode will be about, regrets.
Nice.
I'm not winding this up, just saying. Decisions is a really good one this episode because it also, we've been talking about how this podcast is going to run and making decisions about how this podcast is going to work. This is the general thing. Every episode is going to be a topic about what makes us anxious, and we're going to talk about the various ways that it makes us anxious. We won't offer any real proper help or advice. You should totally seek a real therapist, but it's good to hear other people have the same issues that you do because it's less scary.
Yeah. I find, because it's always good to talk about stuff, and I find listening to stuff to be a pretty similar experience emotionally.
Yeah.
So when I listen to people have the same feelings and worries and stuff, makes me feel better.
Definitely. And that's the whole point of the podcast. But we're also discussing and deciding on various segments that we'll be doing. This is going to be riddled with fake ads, tips of the day, games, maybe.
All right, 1, 2, skidoo.
3 bop shinop.
Hip hop.
Skiddly bop.
Ah, you win. That's just one of the many examples of games.
But I had to make a decision. And even though I lost, in my heart, I lost again. But yeah, that's what the podcast is gonna be about. And that's what the general theme of it. It's gonna be sucky for the first couple of episodes. We're not that good at talking into microphones. It's hard to have a natural conversation when you know that people will be listening to it later.
Yeah.
But we'll get better.
Yeah. We'll get better.
And some nights we'll be a bit happier. Tonight,
It's not a sad night, it's a sleepy kind of night.
it's a sleepy night, guys. But I've got a fucking deadline. And I'm not gonna fucking miss it for the world.
And that's our promise to you.
Have you ever
I
wanted
thought that was a good ending.
Have you ever wanted a toilet?
No.
Well, too bad. Hi, I'm Rick, owner and corporate owner and advisor and secretarial manager and VEPANS.
VEPANS?
Very especially important person and nice man.
I love my weapons.
Have you ever wanted a toilet and you're like, come here, buy a toilet. We've got many toilets.
Porcelain King, the greatest porcelain in the world.
At toiletplus.com.
Well, we can do better than Toilet Plus.
Yeah.
Let's go. No.
Just gotta go. The toilet.
Bathroom. Toilet.
Have you ever wanted more bathroom to the bathroom? Hi, I'm Rick. And what we do is we excavate.
They might? What do they do?
We smash a wrecking ball straight to your bathroom door.
Renovate?
Yeah, that's it. Cut it. We'll do a new ad.
Down here at Steven's World, what we do is we help everybody find the perfect thing for them. You need some snacks? Maybe a gift for your gal? Or a new son to replace the one who fell down that well? We've got it at Steven's World. Steven! Sorry, that's my mama. It's a family business. Family.
Business.
Steven's World.
Dad, can I have a bicycle?
Son, you haven't got any legs. Hi. Have you ever had a son that hasn't got legs? It's fucking tragic. But here at Cycles Are Us, you can have a cycle for a kid with no legs. Just don't. No legs. No problem. No problem at all. My son hasn't got any legs. My wife cries every night. But that's okay. He's got a tricycle. Or a bicycle. Maybe a unicycle.
Get a bicycle.
He can move around. Unlike he's never been able to move before.
Never moved before.
Hi, you want a tricycle? My son's got no legs.
No legs.
Gotta run.
Son's got no legs.
I'm coming, son. Grim. This has been a more fruitful, but perhaps less fruity episode of Anxiety. We've had our peppermint tea, and tonight we will travel the seas of emotions, grand notions, and even a bubbly glass of bubbly. Yeah. Here's a little acrostic for decisions, just to end the night. This is another segment. It's called Decisions. No, it's called Acrostics.
Acrostics.
D is for dilemmas that you solve by making a call. E is for everything's gonna be alright after all. C is for the cats that you love, and I is for immortal. C is for can't spell decisions anymore. S is for stand by what you believe in. I is for I am everything. O is for only you, only me. It's only thing that matters anymore. N is for never forget who you are. And S is for standing in the back of a queue and no one's moving. Why isn't anyone moving forward? I gotta get my groceries checked out. I've got things to do tonight. I can't take this anymore. You're moving to a different queue, but oh my god, it's slowing down again. You've made the wrong decision after all. But that's okay.
I thought that was great.
Thank you so much, guys. It's been a blast and a half, but only a half. I'm not giving you another blast.
I'll give you a blast.
That's greedy. No, don't give them a... Don't do that. Don't make me the bad parent.
Yeah, and then I'm the one that's like feeding them snacks.
Oh, I'm the bad mom? And then I have a Skylar-esque Breaking Bad rant where I'm like, and I've got to be the bitch.
And then
Walt.
people on the internet who clearly don't care about quality go like, I hate all the dinner scenes in Breaking Bad.
I hate all the bits where like a woman speaking.
Yeah.
Skylar's a bitch for not letting her husband be a drug kingpin.
Exactly. If it's all about meth, it'd be shit. It'd just be Narcos.
Wait, that's a whole other episode. We'll have a whole episode devoted to Breaking Bad. There's a lot of anxiety in that show. Anxiety of, oh my god, will I ever find a better show? Yeah, probably. But it's really good. This is not where I wanted to end. Hey guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. Next week will be about regrets. And boy, have we got news for you.
Regret. Oh. No, that's it. That's where it ends.